Hello there everybody, it's HeroicLegend here, and we're still way off course right now, actually. Yeah, this is Mistover, a game that unlocked, technically when you guys are seeing this yesterday, or the 10th, and, I mean, it's kinda spooky. I'm currently debating whether to show you the save data I have now, or whether to jump into this new. Because chances are this is going to be taken up with Lobotomy Corporation was supposed to, because I've run into an unexpected error there. It does leave me a little sad, because I really did want to play some Lobotomy Corporation for EWAT. I was probably going to start everything over from the very get-go. Might even see if I could do that weird glitch again, where I can have a random abnormality as my first monster. But it doesn't look like that was going to happen. So, here's Mistover, thankfully another game I had bought recently and wanted to try out. Now, if I could describe this game, it would have to be a mix of Darkest Dungeon and... well, mostly just Darkest Dungeon, just with a bit of a twist on it. So, we're going to start a new game. We're going to go on to... easy, actually, for you guys. So I'm playing on normal now, and it is kind of kicking my butt. Not as big a fan of that. Felt like I should have been able to do more. If you were hoping to hear the stuff in English, unfortunately the only language settings are English text, Japanese voices, and unfortunately some of the people do kind of just vomit out their line even when their turn's already finished and it's onto the monster's turn. So the basic gist of it is, big bad pillar thing came, released monsters, monsters hurt everything, and now we start off in the fourth. Again, it's not going to be a series of, like, on its own. I am a little tempted to do like I did with Super Mania, and put its own little title card thing, but just only have the 8 next to it or something. Or I might even put it as a random, because you probably will be seeing it after on the channel as well. I don't know. I'm currently gauging my thoughts on this. I might just keep it as a random, in all honesty. So yeah, but it is being played specifically for this month. So the first few episodes will go both in the first 8 episodes will go in the wait, do we have 8 Fridays in October for this? I don't have 8 for Skelemania. Okay, the first 6 episodes are going to be in the October folder, in the October playlist, as well as the randoms playlist. So yeah, basically this is going to be our introduction into this world. These are oversized beetles. Oh my god, that's so nice. Oh, I can choose to skip the prologue. If I skip, oh. Yeah, so basically you're saved. The guys are like, what's up? We saved your life. You want to come with us? You don't have memories? That's cool. This place is where you do stuff. Hey, go visit the Duke. And then the Duke's like, hey, this is my... She is not the Duke. She is the Duke's assistant. And the Duke's just like, hey, yeah, I'm a young guy. And I'm actually really young. I look like a kid. Yeah, I'm gonna, like, kind of maybe look down on you, perhaps. Sorry about that. So, the Duke... okay, if I can briefly give you guys what's happening in this game, it's very similar to the premise of Darkest Dungeon, except instead of I hope you guys are ready because here comes the pain, it's more, I hope you guys are ready because if you're not, the end of the world is here. There's a sort of Damocles mechanic versus the Darkest Dungeon. Hey, I hope you're ready to go fight the big bads, because if you're not, you're going to be sending a lot of people to their death. However, unlike Darkest Dungeon, I don't feel the need necessary to have suicide squads. Yes, in Darkest Dungeon I have suicide squads. They are expected to not return from these endeavors. So basically we talk to her whenever we need quests and stuff, and he's just like, hey, thank you for taking the quest, good job. And she's like, hey, you report to me whenever you do good stuff. And I go here. This dude's yelling at this guy because he's not because he's a coward and he's the leader of this group. Well, he runs this place where people get their groups together. Okay. Let's call this HR Nightmare. Because they're not going to be seen quite a bit. Oh, thank you for letting me know my name's not bad. Okay, so unlike Darkest Dungeon, though, you don't actually get to start out with the people you fought in the prologue. You actually have to pick between. Oh my goodness gracious! Noises and sounds and volumes. Oh my, what's this? Okay, so I'm going to briefly go over these characters, because again, even though it's random, I still want you to know what's going on. These are your Darkest Dungeon-esque starting characters, or starting cast. We have the healer, who alludes to many worse things, because we don't know where that cross is coming from. We have the witch, who's adorable and small. Oh, actually, they have little bits here and there, so I'm just going to briefly go over those, because it makes for, you know, understanding the game a little bit better. So a nun whose mysterious powers, a nun with mysterious powers, forgive me. She's almost killed during a witch hunt. She survived after hearing the voice promising salvation. She follows the voice's commands, believing it to be one true God, but is it really the Lord, or is it the devil? And it could be either or. And actually, I'm a little bit worried about the sister here. We have the witch, who will all be renamed before these episodes are over, because if this is going to be a randoms, there's going to be a cast. If there's going to be a cast, I want you to know that something happened to the cast by name, so I don't have to go off and explain that. Oh, these guys actually have to. Okay, so a caster who has contracted the witch's plague at a tender age. She wields great magical powers which will fade when she becomes an adult. Her goal is to retain her powers forever, so she's looking for the fountain of youth. Transferred into a killing machine by a now defunct Order of Assassins. For years, she lived by and for murder. Trained to obey orders without question, she doesn't really know what to do now. That's sad. I like her outfit, and she cuddles a teddy bear. The proud knight of the Order of the Cross. Cursed by a demon, she is stuck in a childlike form, hates being small, and hopes to dispel the curse and return to normal. So, she wants that curse, she hates this curse. And then we have the Ronin, a samurai commander from faraway kingdom, has cursed sword that stole his senses and made him kill his own lord. He's on a quest to cleanse his conscience. So, these are our starting group. Now, they each have moves. Now, they can learn all of these moves by finding another person who has learned these moves instead and learning it from them with an SP point. Otherwise, these are what you get, and you can unlock them otherwise. So, our sister here has Suspicious Love, which is 266% of her attack to heal party members. Not bad. And Overflowing, which heals all party members. Also not bad. She also has Stable Cloud, which removes bleeding from an enemy, or from an ally, except herself. And Last Prayer, which kind of stops people from dying suddenly, or at least having their hit points taken below 1. Forgive me for that. We also have her ability, Prayer of Blessing. I'll explain this once we get into it. Again, if you're going to watch this as a random, I want you to know what's up if you watch this first bit. Or maybe I just want to have something to kill the time and explain things, because this game is new. So I can't really use the excuse of, you can go look it up. But basically, when moving during exploration, healing power increases by 200. So basically, I move around on the map, which, again, you'll see very soon. If you use her ability when she's the leader, you heal better, which means if you've had some pretty bad fights, and you have some hunger points still, or some food points still, you can use her ability to effectively increase the amount of healing you get while wandering around. Now, here are the jinxes. Agoraphobia deals less damage when in front. Photophobia, when luminosity is at 50%, your speed decreases by 50% or above. but it decreases by 10%. And then Masochist, which I think they always have. 25% chance to increase attack by 15 when attacked, and it lasts only a turn. Next up, we have the Witch. She knows Star Bullet. Nice long distance attack. She actually knows Flame Spiral, Dispel Magic, Chaos Blast, and Wild Surge. So different than the Witch that I first got in the other data. Flame Spiral is good. It's a bit like its own version of Bleed, and Bleed itself is strange. She can only use this on the first 2 columns, which is interesting because I actually would have rather her not. But she does have Dispel Magic, which I actually am very quickly growing to like. Chaos Blast, which... oh, it deals cross damage, so... it's another weird one. It can be very useful if you fight enemies that are in a T-shape, but otherwise it's kind of like, I might as well just use Star Bullet for all that. And then Wild Surge, which gives her the ability to ignore her position. All these characters have one static ability that I guess they have to know. Like, I think the healer always has to know either Overflowing Love and Last Prayer, or at least Last Prayer. I could be wrong on that, but I don't know. So her ability for food is Time Stop. Basically immobilize nearby monsters and teleport for 4 turns, and teleports us to a different location. It could be useful, but I kind of don't like the teleporting aspect because it's random. And really hate to end up from about to be swarmed to about to be killed because in a worse position or ran into a trap. She has Wild Magic, which can do literally anything, I think. Witch's Plague actually, which is interesting. So when there's someone in the back, your hit increases by 15%. And when your HP is at 25% or below, your speed decreases by 15%, which is a strange thing. I'm guessing that she isn't for a 15% increase right now. I think. Our assassin has Sting, Sting Heart. Ooh, Snake Eyes is actually new. A nice stun ability, which I'm happy about. Hits the first 2 columns. Fortunately, not a row. Oh no, wait. Hits the 2 rows. Unfortunately, it's not a column effect. No, wait. The first 3 rows? I don't know how to phrase this. She hits 6 boxes. She also has Strike from Behind, which I like much better than the previous assassin that I had. She does move... oh, she moves the enemy back 1 tile. That's nice. She also has Bomb Toss, which apparently does to all enemies in 1 column. Okay, so they are marked as columns. She can hit the first 2 columns, or she can hit any of the columns. And she has a nice bit of... just very good AoE group we got going on here. Oh, she has Divine Hands. What'd this do? Give yourself HP recovery equal to 200% your attack, and give yourself 50% HP boost. Okay, she can start protecting herself. She's pretty okay in terms of the knight. I wish she had Shield Shock, but to be fair, Shield Shock's very limited. Kind of like her Snake Eyes a little bit better. And then last is our Ronin, who has Wicked Blade, Woodpecker Tactics, and Smack. Actually a better second placer than he is a first placer, which is unfortunate. And if we go back to our... yeah. Oh, Hide. I never actually looked at what the assassin can do. So this might be very useful for anyone. Being hidden basically means the monsters don't know you're there. So you can walk up and sneak attack them and start the fight. Otherwise, if a monster runs into you, they start the fight. And it's pretty much the same food cost as everyone else. Might be able to get me through areas much easier, actually, now that I know that this is a thing. Back is better. Speed decreases when in the front. I would never want you in the front. I think... yes. Patience. Ah, she actually had... they all hate that. And I hate Hunger, which is another one that my previous assassin had. Crush Obstacles, very useful. I actually didn't realize that was only cost 8 food points. Nice. Pride, that's bad. Fanaticism, that's worse. Resolute, that's good. And I think that's all static. Enlightenment, you can move multiple steps at once. Movement stops if you encounter an obstacle or enemy. I don't know if this makes it so the movement doesn't cost anything or whatever, but, you know. Master of the Wicked Sword. Interesting. Majesty, when there's someone behind you, your guard increases by 10. hold hard and there's someone in front of you, your hit increases by 10. So he can be a protector, or he could be a mid-carder or a front-carder. He's actually more of a front boy. Okay. So obviously we want all these people. Just some little plot here, don't worry about it. I will explain anything. So I can see the people I've recruited, and I can even manage them here. They have no equipment right now, but we can't change the name. I actually do like the name Yukimura, so he will stay. And now they know let's sign letters. We're gonna change her name to... actually, Jean was fine. Sina is not fine. Good female. You know what? I'm gonna name her... Ugh, I'm blanking on the names from... Assassination Classroom and... Oh lord, I forgot the name of it. I think this was her name? I don't remember the anime. It was sad, that's all I knew. A witch! A witch's name is going to be something adorable. I'm going to go with Vivian, my default name for most female characters, I guess. And then we're gonna have the sister. Blanking on names right now. I'm just gonna go ahead and call her Claire. Probably spelled it wrong. If I did, sorry. If I didn't, ha. Okay. Now we go to the shop. The shopkeeper talks to us and is very quirky and adorable. Get some free food and stuff. I'm not going to buy all the food and all the plants. 2 bandages. 2 potions. All the bandages and all the waters. Okay, so she's basically looking for her little sister. We don't care about that. We're going into the forest. We're going to this forest specifically now. Very similar to Darkest Dungeon, it will tell you what you have a chance of getting here. And I say a chance, really, it's a foregone conclusion if you do this the right way. And I'm going to tell you right now, the only right way to do these dungeons is all at once. Escaping early is a bad idea, so make sure you're prepared. In fact, I'd almost tell you, anyone who's getting this game new, do this first thing, the first quest, when it says, hey, clear out 80%, you do all that right away. Not in 2 goes, not once to get your grounding. You do your best to learn on your feet. I feel like in my other data, I'm pseudo screwed right now, because I truly do feel like I messed up. Okay, chain formation. Now, right now, it's a bit, you can see basically, cost per step and formation bonus. And I don't know what formation bonus does exactly, but for this sake, we're gonna put Yukimura and Jean in the front. I actually want Akiko in her own slot, so she has freedom of movement. Actually, it might be best to have... No, I want Yukimura in front of her. Over here will be Claire, and actually over here will be Vivian. So if she starts moving... Ah, I see. Okay. So yeah, I kind of want this. I'm starting to notice things. Crit, Endeavor, and Guard. Maybe I want her... No, she's not good back there. She can't use Suspicious Love in the back. Use everything. Or Punishment. She can use a lot... Actually, we want her in the back. Yeah, that's better. Okay, this is the type of format format I want. Now, very similar to Darkest Dungeon, you can take things on your expedition with you. Only difference and problem? What you take will spoil if you don't use it. As they probably already explained there. Now, spoiled things are not inherently bad. You know, and you'd rather take one of something than lose, like, your people. So, I will do more explaining about this in a second. I'm going to very briefly state, I do like this game. It is fun. It does feel a lot like Darkest Dungeon. And I do like the aesthetics. My biggest problem right now is kind of the same problem I have with Darkest Dungeon, and that's we have a hit meter, which sometimes doesn't feel right. I don't know. I've gotten hit more often than not right after debuffing someone's ability to hit me, and I feel like that's just kind of messed up. But actually, we can take a little quick look-ee-loo here. Specialties and resistance. It seems like our boy here, Yukimura, when he has an ability that can weaken or bleed someone, has a good chance of doing so. About a little bit less in his favor of a coin flip for moving, but stunning and silencing people is not his thing. He also can resist bleeding and weakening, not so much moving, stun, or silence, though. His hit is also 85, which I'm not a big fan of. If there's any way I can get that up right, I'd very much like that. Guard is 12, which I like. Evade is 93, which I don't know what that means. Crit is 10, which I kind of like also. And that explains a lot why she hits quite a bit, but also makes me very violently angry when she misses. She's actually... My sister's actually hit more. My sister's hit more. In the other playthrough, I'm shocked about that, considering she has an 85 as well. Decent guard, too, actually. Our little witch has no guard, apparently, or whatever that little box means. She does hit a lot, though. She has a better chance of hitting. Well, she's better at stunning, which is funny, because I don't think she has a stun move. Alright. Well, I want to thank you for this kind of introductory episode into Mistover. Yeah, it is going in the October one. I don't know if I will make its own little separate thing. I guess if there's enough demand for it, or, you know, if I can see the end of this game unlike other games that are like it, I will more than happily play through it for you all, but I need to see some serious interest in it first. Oh, and before you think you could just send out a crew of like one person just to try to get stuff as cheekily as you can, ain't happening. You ain't allowed outside without at least 5 people. Right? With at least maximum 5 people. So yeah. Anyway, well, thank you for watching if you enjoyed this video. If you like it, you know what to do. Much appreciate you if you do. Until next video, I just want to say, laters.